You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I own the soundtrack. Man. I have all of them.
Oh, okay.
I love Jet Set Radio.
Oh, no, of course, man. They have
It's probably the core of my musical taste right now. And that's
yeah. Dude, whoever does that rap freestyle song in that, it's just the real future, that guy's got skills.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The guys who are hip-hop and shit. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Oh, fuck, I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah, I think it's the Long, no, not the Long Brothers. That song was legit. Way better than most of the crap rappers we have now. Oh my god. Not the Long Brothers.
No, because he killed it.
Oh, dude, he rocked that shit. I'd be scared for anybody who was trying to freestyle battle freestyle.
Yo, they're Danish. Danish hip-hop trio, yeah, the Boons.
Oh, okay, wow, that's interesting.
The Last Brothers remix, that's why you see the Last Brothers Last Brothers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the music is dope.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the tracks are remixes from Jet Set Radio.
Some of them are like brand new songs.
Yeah. There's a lot of remixes, to show the future, because it's the same characters.
Right. They got this one song that I like, though. It's a rock song. It's called I'm Not a Model. And if you listen to the uncensored version, and then there's this woman that talks about the
Yeah, I'm looking at the track.
Yeah, oh god.
Becky Nakamura still there on that side. He killed everything.
Yeah.
Alright guys, you ready?
Ready when you are, Chief. Let's go.
Alright, Greg. Thanks, Ryan.
Level 1. Rhythm.
I'm gonna make it last. I give it to you right there whenever you want. So come on, girl, let me take you to another world. You the one that I love to hear the other girl.
Die for you, cry for you. This is what I can't deny. Die for you, cry for you. Please don't say goodbye. Die for you, cry for you. This is what I can't deny. Die for you, cry for you. Please don't say goodbye.
1, 2, 3.
Never say goodbye, I'ma die with you. I hate it when you sigh, cause I cry with you. See, I never say goodbye, I'ma die with you. I hate it when you sigh, cause I cry with you.
Say it. Tick 4.
Woo!
What's going on, everyone? How you doing? This is Torrance Hudson, also known as Hud Zero, and welcome to the special episode that we are going to be talking about Jet Set Radio 25th anniversary. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? 25 years ago. To this very day, it was actually announced to be launching for the Sega Dreamcast in Japan. And then, of course, the American version, which actually came out, I believe, a little bit later. About a week later? Ah, there you go. So, basically, what we are doing, we are celebrating the actual birthday of Jet Set Radio. Not the American version, the Japanese version. until they actually did the American release. And we're going to go into further details of what's been different or what's been changed to, do some little bit comparisons. But can you believe what an amazing game Jet Set Radio is? There is so much culture, so much in Jet Set Radio. I mean, I can gush about this game. This game is absolutely amazing. When it first got released, with its cel shaded graphics, amazing soundtrack, and of course the graffiti. Who listen? I mean, the graffiti culture was huge back in the day, and believe it or not, yeah, but in small circles, and I think it's still going on. And right now, with Jet Set Radio having its wonderful 25th anniversary announcement, what better time than to actually get back into the culture? So, without further ado, let's introduce my awesome panel. To my bottom, he was on my right, now he's on my bottom. Pause. He is the most awesome guy, the one who's going to put you in a chokehold, guaranteed to make you tap out, the Neon Samurai, Mr. Tony San Miguel. Indeed. And then, of course, let's not last but certainly not least, Mr. Johnny Elisea, the ladies' man, the overachiever, the one who likes to collect all things, anything, anything anime, you name it, video games, Sega characters, King of Fighters, you name it, he's the man. Go on, shout yourself out, man.
What's going on, players? Thank you so much for tuning in, though. And let me tell you something. Jet Set Radio, 25th anniversary. I mean, I'm pumped for this. I'm so excited to talk about this game with all you guys and all the memories. This game close dear to my heart. So, you know me. I love my retro gaming. I love my gaming history. So, without further ado, let's get the show on the road, guys. Let's do it.
Indeed. So let's go into the lore. The Jet Set Radio was like an original concept that came out like wow, 25 years ago by a young one second, let me see if I actually can pull that up. But by a young team, SmileBit. SmileBit was a small subsidiary of the Sega Dream Team, and they had a small little concept and said, why not create a game that actually is like in a neon Tokyo setting, with some youngsters who actually like to express their art and actually go against the oppression of the neon society and everything that actually tries to oppress freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and of course the right to actually be free, to actually go out there and express themselves artistically, musically, and of course being led by an amazing underground radio station called Jet Set Radio, with the wonderful MC DJ Professor K. So, what's that? Oh, the Warriors, yes. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, I never thought about that either because look at all the bank matches that you have to take on, like Poison Jam, the Noise Tank, the Love Shockers. The Love Shockers could be like the list. That's the way I would put them. And then in Just Array of Future, you had the Rapid 99, which is another girls' gang group.
Oh, that's right. The Love Shockers, Rapid 99. You got you got
The Immortals.
the Immortals. Yep, that's right.
But they didn't appear. Yeah,
They didn't appear until the
like,
sequel.
real
Until the
future,
sequel, right, right.
So, Yeah.
Those guys are freaky, man.
But they're weird names.
The
But
Immortals, those guys are freaky.
yes, they are.
Oh yeah.
And you know an interesting fact. You know, I know we're going into like also talking about future. You know, you notice like in the middle of the game before you actually meet them and everything, you see there are three stones, right? They're three what do you call it, esophagus? What's it called again? No, they're little gravestones. I guess it's graves or they're little esophagus or something like that.
Sarcophagus.
Yeah, thank you.
Sarcophagus.
Yes.
For mummies.
Yeah, for mummies. Yeah. They're actually, and you see the three of them right there. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But you don't meet them until later on. You know, so they're actually hidden.
Oh yeah. They're not meant until later on.
Yeah. So
and also the Doom. You also got the Doom Riders. Wow, that's another group.
Now that's the Doom Riders, right? That's right. Oh man, I think that this game is so deep in political agenda. It's really amazing how they actually just deposed everything in there just to make it fun as well. Because when you think about it, you got the Rokuku group, who's actually an underground, basically the ones behind the scene, and then of course you got the
police.
The police, who actually on the forefront, stuff like that. But once you get further, and then you realize that, hey, you know what, they're not doing their job, and then the Rokuku group gets involved, and then you got the tanks coming in there, and you got
they were called the Golden Rhinos.
The Golden Rhinos, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, wow. I mean,
that comes up like halfway through the game.
I thought
that was pretty unique.
Mm-hmm.
And then, listen. You can't have like a game have like a main villain that you saw, like the police chief, General. Captain.
Captain
Onimisha.
Onimisha, yes.
Onimisha, yes. Captain Onimisha.
Onimisha, oh my goodness, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, with that big gun, he chases you around, tries to shoot you. but you can
It's like the Joker's gun. It's like the Joker's gun.
It kind of looks like the Joker's gun in a way, but what's cool about it is that you could knock him. You could actually spray him in the back.
That's right.
I like.
As a matter of fact, I think
you knock him over and spray him on the back while they're down. It's hilarious.
it's and then he's stunned. He's stunned for a little while, and then he disappears.
Yeah. But then you still gotta watch out for the officers. They're gonna try to launch onto you.
Yeah. That's another thing. In this game, it's fairly simple, but also fairly I can't say difficult. Fairly simple, but also very interesting to master as well. Because remember, in this game, you don't really tally up tricks and everything. It's all about your speed. It's your speed, and it's speed to be able to put the graffiti up and stuff like that. You have a whole different settings depending on how fast you actually finish the stage. Jet is actually the highest. So if you actually get Jet, supposedly if you get Jet throughout the whole entire game, you actually do unlock another character. I forgot. I think it's
It was Potts the dog.
Potts the dog. Yes, exactly. So
you
there was
to lock him, and then you could lock what's his name? Goji, who's the leader of the Golden Rhinos.
Yes.
Hi to our buddy Dorian.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hi, how you doing? Oh, and I also do want to wish a big birthday shout out to Dorian. So he's actually, his level up due.
Happy birthday,
His
Dorian.
level up day. So I'm glad that she actually decided to join us. I'm happy to see you. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm pretty sure you actually have a lot of memories of Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio when it actually came out in the U.S.
Yeah, it was called
Jet Grind Radio.
Yes.
There are also some other differences as well. We're going to probably go into that later on. We are going to be doing some comparisons. We're going to talk about our favorite characters. We're going to talk about our favorite music. We got so much in store. You guys, have to tune in. I'm hoping that we actually get, more people to come in because once you start piling in, hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification thing to actually make sure you keep up with that content. So we oh yeah, see Dorian just said I love this game. Of course, this game has so much culture, so much
Yes.
nostalgia. It really revolutionized gaming and as a whole. If you think about it, when it comes to like
Oh
gaming
yeah.
sound, yeah, gaming soundtracks and also mood and setting and also cel shaded graphics, which is actually was also a first for video for
Yeah.
gaming as well.
It also attracted a lot of people who likes to rollerblade as well.
Oh yes,
So
that's
there was
right.
something for everybody.
Yeah, and
Like
also
from my brother who used to rollerblade a lot during his time, like when he was in middle and high school. He used to like rollerblade, and then he saw Jet Set Radio, and he got into the game. And I remember like during those times, it was me, my brother, and a couple of my friends or his friends. So we used to compete in the 4-player mode in Jet Set Radio Future because you can actually race each other or who can get their graffiti done at less time.
yes,
So
yes,
I thought that's unique though.
absolutely, absolutely. So let's start with our own memories really fast. I mean, and
Sure.
I'll go last. We'll round robin a little bit. So let's start with you, Johnny, because I'm pretty sure you have some amazing memories.
Oh, do I?
What really brings out the jet set radio in you? What's your drive in the game?
Why actually driving the game is that back then, like in the early like late '90s, early 2000s, I was big into
The best,
techno
good
music.
times, good times.
So
Oh yes.
yeah, we had some great music back in those days. But I hate to say this, I mean, I'm not trying to knock off, a lot of the music nowadays is just trash. I'm just gonna say it there. But anyways, I was big into techno music back then, and then when I heard the soundtrack to this game, that's what caught my attention, though. The cel shading graphics. I mean, I wasn't like, wow, I was blown away. I was like, oh, this is pretty unique. This is like a new take on graphics. I'm down with this though. And then when I saw the fact that you could grind and on the rails and go on the walls and stuff like that, I was like, oh wow. So I looked into this. I seen the characters. The characters was interesting, and then I just said, you know what? He said, I'm going to get this game after seeing all the videos I saw online during the time. Because I'm pretty sure you guys remember, like back in those days, we had like short clips of videos. Like it'll take like maybe I don't know how long, like 5 minutes to download like a 30-second video.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember those things?
Oh yeah. So painfully
Like
long.
Yeah, but then but here's the thing though. Once you got that video, then you got to see the glorious of that game, and you got to see, oh, this game was fantastic. So, but yeah, once I started playing that game, and I saw all these characters, and all these characters were pretty likable. There was always a character that someone's gonna like. There's always gonna be a character that you're gonna like, rather it's the look, rather it's the personality, the way they play. So there was a character, and plus all the characters were like really drawn. It's like you really actually wanted to help the GTs achieve their goals from what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
So,
indeed.
I mean, now if you want to go into one of my if I could go into a couple of my favorite characters one of my favorites was actually was Graham.
Oh,
and the other one.
Yeah, you took one of mine. Yeah, go ahead.
Graham was good. I also like Piranha was good though, because I looked at her. I mean, some people like consider like she's black though, but she does have that Latino look as well. So she could be like both. So it was like diversity a bit though, because you also had Combo, which is a cool guy. He's just rollerblading. He's got the boom box, and it's like, come on. I was like, how could you not like Combo, man?
Yes.
He's just rollerblading, grinding. He's got the boom box there. Come on. And then also
That's big
like
Combo's vibe.
What's that?
I dig Combo's vibe. That guy was cool.
Oh yes, with
Oh,
the
yeah,
big
he was
boom
awesome.
box, with the big boom box on his
Yeah,
on his
that's
head.
what, yeah,
He's
yeah,
fake
that's what I
balancing
said.
Brian while holding the boombox
Come
My
on,
without
God.
dropping it or falling.
Listen, man.
Exactly.
And
That's so badass. And then also I liked Q because like during that time, I kind of dig golf girls.
oh.
So I also like Q. So
Of course you did. I remember.
what's
Yeah.
that? Oh
When I
come
first
on.
met you, you still had a thing for him.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, because we met. It was like early. It was like what was it? Mid 2000s. We met. We met through MySpace.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. I said, yeah, I kind of dig. Yeah, because I actually like Cube though. But there's one guy that's kind of weird though. He's not really a favorite, but I don't mind him. What are your thoughts on? I want to make sure I got his name right. Slade though, but they changed his name Soda. He's wearing this like jacket, and all you can see is his nose and his eyes, and he's got these two rags. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Oh, he's like a reverse.
Is it
Kenny.
corn? Is it corn in the states?
No.
No,
Corn's
not
got
corn.
the,
Oh,
Corn's got like the warlock hat.
Oh,
No,
that's
he's
right,
like-
yeah.
He's like Kenny from South Park.
Yeah, but you can see his nose.
Like if Kenny
yeah,
took his
but-
hood down, but kept his mouth covered.
oh,
but you
yeah. I
can see
need
his
to talk
nose though. His nose is
Yeah,
sticking
Slate.
out.
Got the Kilroy
You talking about
thing going, too,
Slate,
with the
right?
nose sticking out.
Slate.
Yeah, Slade.
Slade.
But they
Yeah,
call him, but they changed his name to Soda in Just a Real Future. I don't know why. Why was that though? But
I don't know either.
you know, but
They-
yeah, he was a weird one to me.
Mm.
But yeah, all these other characters they had in that game though is like and then you find out that later on after you beat the game, like there's more to unlock. You could play as Poison Jam, you could play as a member of the noise tanks and the mouth shockers.
Yep.
And then the dog Potts. Like what?
Yeah, dude.
So
Potts
I
is like.
I have to get all Jet ranks. I have to see this for myself.
Yeah.
So it was just so much replay value in that game. It's like
the
it's
secret.
like, it makes you want to get everything.
You get new graffiti.
Those are my thoughts on it. Did you want to say something, Charles?
No, I was just gonna say, because I mean, besides that, when you actually unlock all that stuff, there's also all the graffiti souls that you collect, which is actually another thing that I love. So
there was exactly the graffiti souls that are like all over the city though. It's like some of them you have to get you have to pump up some speed and you have to get some adrenaline just to get that graffiti soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to pull so many. There was some hard ones to get too. It's like you have to pull like amazing tricks just to get that one.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you want to see what that graffiti is because it looks like it could be a badass graffiti that you just want to spray there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, and then also the music. I mean, one of my favorites was one of my favorites on that soundtrack is like Electric Toothbrush.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Toronto.
one of the best ones. One of the best
That
ones.
is one of my favorite ones because I was a big techno guy and I always jammed into it though every time that song was played in the background whenever I was playing. And then there was OK House though, which is like a Latin type house song. I think you guys, if you listen to it, I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about. Had that Latin style of house music though, and I was like, wow, it's like they tried to get like every type of music like put into this game. So there's gonna be a song for everybody to like though. There's gonna be a song there for everybody. So I think they really nailed it. They certainly, even if you wasn't a big fan of that type of music, it just shows you like, hey, this is the type of music maybe you like this though, and then you maybe want to play it later though.
Mm.
So and then plus this was only in the American version. I also like Jurassic 5 Improvise.
Yes. Oh my
really
God,
great
that's
track.
another. That was dear. That's a good shout out right there.
And then big shout out to them and Mixmaster Mike,
Mm-hmm.
one of the old timers.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a song there from him and Rob Zombie.
Nice.
Dracula. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but that's just my take on Jet Grind Radio.
Mm.
So but yeah, that game holds dear to my heart, and also I had it for Dreamcast, and then I have it on my Xbox 360 too. So I mean, I play that game, and I still enjoy it to this day, and I unlocked it everything.
Good. Excellent.
Wouldn't mind doing it again though.
Mm.
So But also, I mean, before we go into, we're gonna go to Tony next though. But
Yeah.
before we go into it, did you guys know that there was a Game Boy Advance version of Jet Ride Radio?
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Actually, matter of fact, I remember that. Yeah, they
I would have caught
and
that.
There was.
I was kind of shocked how well it was, how well it was played on there too.
It was not bad though, but yeah, it was not bad. It was obviously they're not gonna fit all those songs into that cartridge.
No.
I mean, they can only fit like 8 songs.
Yeah, which I
And
was
then
shocked.
it loops like every 30
Surprised
seconds.
he even got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was surprised. I didn't finish the Game Boy Advance version though, because what happened was like during at the time I was working at the EBJ, so then I was just trying it out though to see how it is, and I was like, oh wow, this is not bad at all. Especially they were able to crank this into a cartridge. I was amazed by it. So of course it wasn't going to be as good as the Dreamcast version.
No, of course not. No.
But the way they did it, like during that time, like you could take Jet Grind Rail, play it on the go. I thought they pulled it off pretty well.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
Something's got to be said about that game's technological marvel as it came out on the GBA. To work with that little, think about the technical constraints they had to deal with that just aren't available that they had when going to other platforms.
Yeah.
Especially the Game Boy Advance, because because I believe, let me see, I think
I wonder what made them decide to say, hey, let's do a Game Boy Advance version of this game. I wonder what made them decide to just do that. So because I remember they did. That's true, but you know what's funny? They did a crazy taxi on the Game Boy Advance, and I hate to say it, that game sucked.
Yeah,
that might have been too big for it.
It was
it was pretty bad.
The Game Boy Advance version was actually published. The Game Boy Advance version was actually, the Game Boy Advance version was published by Toy Headquarters or THQ. So they are the ones that actually ported it to the game.
Yeah, so, Sega gave them the rights to do it.
Yeah, so they did a hell of a job. Even though it was isometric view. And of course, but you still had all the same stylings and what have you in the game. You can be able to do the graffiti still, and all that stuff, and the same motion and the same motions as well, which is wild too. That's wild. That is so wild.
Marvel for the time.
My gosh, they really Game Boy Advance was a really like no pun intended, an advanced piece of tech. So it was.
It definitely was. Bro, that was the year 2003.
They should tip your waitresses.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's all I have to say for Jet Grind Radio for now though. So Tony, let's go to you.
Yeah.
Oh, the first time it came out, I was actually working at GameStop at the time. It was a sleeper game, if you ask me, because I didn't remember many people asking for it. But the people that did, they were like, "We've been waiting forever for this game," including a couple of my pals. I was like, "Really?" But I didn't really get to play it until a few years later on the, what was it, the 360?
That's right, 360. No,
I actually started with Jet Set Radio Future. I played that one first.
That's right.
Oh, that's for the OG Xbox. For the OG Xbox, yes.
Yeah, and then I was like, wow, I really like this. I sought out the original, and I was like, it's just as good. I've never seen, like, usually the sequel blows the original out of the water in video games. Usually. But these were both right on par with each other, and like they're both playable. They're so good they mold together in my head sometimes. But yeah, so when I got into Jet Set Radio Future and JSR, I was like actually home, with my injured shoulder. I thought my career was over, so I was in a depression, man. This game helped me through a depression.
Nice.
And then it also helped. My sister came home to visit from college. That also brought us closer together. So this game holds a special place for our heart.
Oh, cool, man. That's so cool.
My gosh.
I'm pretty sure your sisters really like the atmosphere of the game too as well.
Yeah, she loved the game. She thought the story was cute. That's why. She was like, "Oh no, I gotta rescue Yo-Yo" and all that stuff.
Nice. I remember that part. You got to say Yo-Yo.
She felt really bad when Yo-Yo got captured.
Of course. That
Well,
big little guy.
listen, I mean that was kind of like a plot twist, if you think about it, because remember
I didn't see it coming.
well,
No, nobody
I didn't see it coming.
it was
I didn't see it
weird.
either.
It was kind of weird because you played as Yo-Yo in the very beginning of Jet Set Future, Radio Future,
Yeah.
and then like midway you're like, whoa, captured what? And then you switch over to the rest of the GGs, which is actually and they take over, and then you actually it's further out than I think you rescue him, and also it's just pretty wild. So it's but what an amazing marvel of a game. You got any further you know opinions or likes of the Jet Set Radio?
Like the
Tony?
first one.
Yeah, like the first
Like
one.
the
I
first
love
guy, yeah.
everything about it. The music. To be honest, I'm gonna start playing it right now while I'm doing this podcast.
Don't get too distracted. I'm like Tony. Wait, hold on. I want to pull off this move.
Now I want to go turn on my 360 and play right now.
Oh,
Shoot. Go
man.
play Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh,
My original Xbox.
fun fact.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
Jet Set Radio as a whole, their franchise, so
Yeah.
we can talk about anyone we want.
Indeed.
And I'm sure
Of course.
the listeners would love to hear anything about most of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fun-
Talk about the whole franchise.
Yeah, let's make it hot.
Fun fact. You can actually, I believe, right now, didn't they delist the Jet Set Radio off of most of the. They think they did, right?
I
Most of the Legacy.
think it's listed on the 360 though, because
Yeah.
remember they shut down the 360 marketplace.
360
already,
marketplace.
remember?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is the best marketplace ever.
Yeah.
They shut that down.
That and also
Yeah.
on the Xbox One and the Series also, because backwards compatibility. It goes what goes one hand washes the other. But I mean, I have a lot of memories. Number one, let's go back.
hear 'em.
Let's go way back. Let's go back to
Oh,
the
let's hear
days.
it. I wanna
Let's
hear
go.
it.
Let's go to the days of. Remember the official Xbox magazine.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, there was an issue that actually showed the demo of Jet Grind Radio, and that's
Right.
when I was actually
Oh,
able
yes.
to play it for the first time. And trust me when I said, okay, I want more. I want more. I could not wait for that game to actually come out.
Immediately sold.
And they even had a because of course DJ Professor K, he actually had his own little speech and everything in the beginning of the game, blah 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 blah. And and of course when the game was over, he actually showed up again and said, "Oh, you want more?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh man, I want more. Please give me more." And also another fun fact and everything, they actually had I think one of the official soundtracks. They actually did a video. They did a music video also on that disc as well. My goodness, man, I just okay. Let me go. I got a lot. I got a lot to talk about in this
Go
game.
ahead, man.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm throwing it all out to you. Okay, number one.
10 bars.
All right, here we
I wanna
go.
hear it all, man. Go ahead.
Now when it comes to the soundtrack, okay, the soundtrack didn't really hit hard in the beginning of the game, okay, but once you actually get to the underground and you actually meet meet one of the characters, which is Graham,
The Graham?
right?
Okay.
That soundtrack right there, when the beat hits hard and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember the soundtrack. I actually have it on my list. It's so damn good. I actually was listening to it the other day, and I'm trying to remember the soundtrack. But my God, when I heard that soundtrack, the beat just dun 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 dun. I was like, oh goodness gracious!
I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, and and that's
I
where
know.
you actually had to follow his tricks to actually unlock him. So, and when I actually listened to it, I was like, ooh, I want this on disc. I want this on my soundtrack so I can listen to it again and again. And every single time I play the game, I always wait until I actually get to that soundtrack, and I'm just jamming to it. And of course, Electric Toothbrush is another favorite too, which is great.
Mhm.
And of course, the final stage music as well. Even though it's weird and
Grace and
eerie,
Glory.
Grace and Glory, yes.
You know what
That
I did?
and I like the remix also. The remix in the third in the sequel was good too. So they actually kind of changed it up a little bit. But the first one was good. The first one was great, but the second one, I think they when they tweaked it a little bit, it was actually sounded a little bit better. But either way, still great. Oh,
Tony just said he liked Sweet Soul Brother. That's a good track as well.
oh, Sweet
Yeah, and
Soul,
everybody
Sweet.
jump around.
Oh,
Everybody jump around, too.
jump around now.
Yes.
In my all-time,
Come up and get
humming
down.
bass line in both versions. Both versions, I'm in the bass line.
Oh,
stuck in my head daily.
Listen, the one that I really like humming the bass line is the sequel. Because they had
that's one that's stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah, that bass is. Yes, absolutely.
Let Mom Sleep is a good one.
Oh, Let
Yeah,
Mom Sleep.
yeah, it
Yeah. Will you stop playing that radio of yours? I'm trying to get some sleep.
Get yelled at by an English lady.
Oh. Yeah, let's look at the funk. Yes, absolutely. See, there's so much in this game.
The music is so good.
The music,
It's so good.
but the tricks,
Absolutely.
are amazing too. Like the
Oh yeah.
you know, because they're I forgot what stage it was when you actually not in Tokyo though. It's actually in when you actually buy the pier. You know, that part was actually kind of frustrating though because when the helicopter comes around and they actually started shooting you out of the air when you're trying to do.
Yeah, when the only way you could really stop them is that you got to spray the window.
Spray the window, exactly.
You had to get really, really high up there to reach it.
Yeah, and that part was frustrating the heck out of me,
crazy.
man.
It was insane, such a pain.
Yeah. But the thing is, the technology in that game is ridiculous because you can actually go into the huts and everything and actually like bust through and stuff like that, and you're actually going through to the other side. What game does that? Does it at that time? Not many games at all.
GTA, that's about it.
Yeah, but this game was like a technical marvel, and when it comes to the amount of attention to detail in the game was ridiculous, and there wasn't that many.
I think they're credited with creating cel-shading. They were the first ones.
They were.
I think they're credited.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was the first time they attempted to do a cel-shaded type of game in such a way. It was an artistic marvel, and they nailed it. They nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I mean, and the style, it was just so stylized. Just the way the characters portrayed themselves. You know, the characters don't really speak. You know, they say or yeah,
or hey you,
hey you, yeah, things like that. Simple. They don't talk. They don't do much of that stuff. But of course, but like some of the protagonists actually do. Or antagonists. I'm sorry, antagonists do that.
Onishima talked a lot too much. You got to hear him like through the speaker. Through the radio.
Yeah. This is the headquarters. This is the headquarters. Be on the lookout by some sort. Go on, get those little punks. I don't care. Just blast them. But it's like, damn. I mean, all they're doing is just just tagging stuff.
He was a psycho.
Yes, he was. It's just what the story, which is great too, and everything when it gets deeper. When let me see, Professor K was actually when it was giving you all the details, trying to find out where you had to go next. And all that stuff. It's the guidance, to get in there, and also the soundtracks. Now, another great thing about the game, I do like the fact that it allows you to unlock characters without DLC. But this is way before DLC
Yeah.
existed.
Yeah, of
You know?
course.
And see, I wish games actually went back to that, where you can actually unlock, new things, new characters, new stage, new soundtracks, new graffiti tags and stuff. Which is another thing that I actually love about the game. You can actually create your own tags. If you had a VMU, if you had a VMU, if you, of course, you needed a VMU if you wanted to save your games. With the VMU, you can actually, take your tags with you, and you can actually be able to transfer and and create your own tags on the game. So that means if you have artistic ability, you can create your own tags. And back then, since the Dreamcast actually had the ability to go online, you can actually be able to, at the time, download certain pictures or whatever you want, into the game, depending on how large the file is. I think there was a certain file limit, but but you can actually be able to transfer it to the game and actually put those tags up, any way you want to, which is so.
Spray paint.
There was
exactly.
there was some
cool.
very
Women in bikinis.
very risque things on there, but there was some very cool ones as well, some really amazing ones, and which is not available in the game. So and I was like, dang, gone. Like, for instance, I think one person actually downloaded a Devil May Cry one, and I think it was a
All right.
yeah, there was there was a lot of like anime characters like Goku one time, or what they downloaded from a certain file cache that was available, and you can actually be able to download to your VMU and then from your VMU into the game. It's just pretty awesome. But then they shut it down, of course. I mean, you can it no longer exists. But it was cool at the time. But unfortunately, the 360 version, they took that feature out. But
of course,
yeah, it would have been cool if he did. I mean, come on, for goodness sake, that was a missed opportunity. I would have loved that, being able to download whatever you wanted. Like, for instance, if I had like a gamer tag or something like that, or something cool, or something I drew online, I could be able to put it on there and spray paint it all over the walls and kind of revisit it. Say, yeah, I was here. This is what I did. This is mine. Awesome.
You gotta back up a sec. Speak on the graffiti. Can you? That's not like the graffiti we see on New York City streets, man. This is pure art.
These are really, really detailed, beautiful tags. I mean, these are not those weird, like, simple tags. We're talking about detailed tags.
These are detailed, man.
Yeah, like, real detailed.
That's what, do that stuff. Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get all the graffiti souls in the game, because I actually want to see all these graffiti tags that you go unlock. So
they're beautiful tags.
They were so well done. Just some gorgeous tags, man. Let's see if I can try to pull one up.
Colors, you name it, man.
Oh man, and I'm saying to myself, wow, man, how much time and how much detail in these things. And you know what?
Effort went to these things.
And it's fun. It's a funny thing too. I mean, these guys do it late at night, and they actually go back and forth and everything, and they actually put these tags underneath like certain bridges and certain railways. They used to put those on the side of, like, say, the side of subways. Way back in the day. Nowadays, you don't see that that much.
On the trains too.
The trains, yeah, exactly.
It was all over the side of the trains.
Oh man, it was like a billboard in motion. You see?
I didn't know what a subway looked like without the graffiti. Back then, I did not know what one looked like without it.
And it was a thing. It was a thing, where
There's so much.
And they and it's funny too, because every single anime and stuff like that that's based in like New York and the city and stuff like that, every single subway will actually show graffiti on the side of the trains, which is pretty wild, So, but it's a thing.
Yeah. Before you go any further, what I do like about the American version that they added, Grind City is actually based off New York City.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That, that,
Yep.
that was like that
We're gonna
was.
grind over Port Authority now.
Yep,
Mhm.
and you grind on all the wires and stuff like that, and you get to certain, and there's like the
Yep,
billboard
the
part.
tracks, yeah.
Yep, it's so good,
But
so
you gotta
good.
watch out for the trains though, because they can smack you.
Yep,
All
that's
right,
true.
man. I'm about to log off and go play.
Ah,
Alright,
killing
so we're
me.
done.
You're
We're
killing
done.
me.
We're cutting the show off early.
We'll just
oh
turn it into a
man,
live stream playing.
yeah. So anyway, and here's a question. Here's a question for the here's a question for the chat. If you could design your own graffiti tag for Jet Set Radio, what would it look like and what would it represent? Go ahead and write it down on the chat and everything. We'll shout you out a little bit. We'll I feel like if I was gonna put any design at all on Jet Set Radio, what it would look like? My gosh, I had one tag a long, long time ago when I was actually in commercial art, and there was I used to call myself Wizard X, right? Way, way back. This is like a long time ago, like I think it was like 11th grade or something like that. I used to call myself Wizard X. It was like gamer tag. But then I actually changed it and I called it WizX. So I actually made one and I lost the picture. I actually had it and my art teacher loved it. And I think one of the assistants actually used to
Mhm.
do tags on in the city along on because that was his thing. And him and I think four of his friends would actually go out there and do these amazing pieces. And he showed me a whole bunch of pictures. And he showed me like with his like gas mask on, and he had his spray paints and everything, all like a whole bag of them and stuff like that. And his hands were like covered in like all different types of like freaking colors and stuff. And they would literally be up from like almost 12 midnight to like almost 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, just putting up these tags,
Wow,
and for hours,
that's crazy.
and without getting caught, which is actually another thing because you know how
Oh yeah, back then you
the
gotta watch
popo,
your butt though.
exactly,
Oh, yeah.
because vandalism and stuff like that is a huge crime.
Mhm.
And but he showed me like all the finished pieces, and I was like, oh wow, just the vibrance, the color, the justification, the way they actually had characters turn into letters, or letters turn into characters, and all that stuff was just, oh man, it's just so damn wild, man. And I was like, oh, I was so inspired, and I actually I loved it. I forgot his name, but it was because it was like so long ago, and I missed it. No, actually, matter of fact, Dorian, you remember commercial art, right? Yeah, I got to shout out the guy, Mr. Boffy. Remember Mr. Boffy? My our awesome art teacher. He was, oh man, he was a weird one, but he was amazing. He actually had a lot of inspiration. Um, and he actually encouraged me. He says, "Yep."
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, man. Mr. Boffy he was awesome though. I actually liked him as my commercial arts teacher. And he was really encouraging us to express ourselves better and stuff like that. So he was just
That's
kind of
cool to
throwing
have
things at
teachers
me.
like that.
Yeah.
They're my favorite ones and the ones I remember.
But it was cool
Mhm.
because like it was like half the day though, because I mean like half the day I would actually do my classes, and then half the day we would drive all the way to Bosie's occupational education, and we would actually do.
Oh, I remember both these. Yes,
Yes, and then
I remember.
we would go to my commercial arts class. Best guy, yeah, he said Dorian G said best guy never calls us by our real names. He's so right.
What was that about? Yeah,
He never.
That's
No,
funny.
seriously,
Oh, that's cool.
he never calls us by our real names. He'll always call you like he'll give you a nickname, and then you just stuck, So, but he was,
Teacher like that.
yeah.
All right, what do you call you? What do you call you?
Yeah, I think he called me what do you call it? God, he called me something. He called me something really weird. I think it was not. What did he call me? He called me.
You know, if you say something
No.
overly cool, I can fact check with Dorian right there.
Yeah, I think it was something like I think it was something like something with wizard, but I actually don't think it was wizard. It was a game head or something like that. Something along that
Hey,
line.
man.
Yeah, because because I was heavily into video games. He's like Mark was Markenheimer.
That's funny.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah, I
man,
remember that.
wow.
I was like,
You were blessed to have a teacher like that.
no,
Oh.
Markenheimer. Oh my god! I was like,
Oppenheimer.
I looked at him like this. I was like, eh? Oh my god. Oh,
Wow.
but yeah, but and I said, oh, and he said I was Dinkeldork.
Dinkledork.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So
My God.
listen.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I think it was something like Gamehead. It was something weird. It was around that because I was always into video games. I loved video games, and he knew that.
Yeah.
And I kept on expressing
Yeah.
myself when it came to video games. But but he was like always on me and everything about my art projects, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, you gotta do a little bit more of this, you gotta do a little bit more of that, and he was always pushing me. So, but I actually appreciated it. Of course, I didn't really pursue it any further because it was more of a niche or a hobby of mine, not really a career,
Right.
but it stuck with me. It stuck with me, and of course, and it just kind of grew because I do that on the side. I do, all that. I still have my paints. I still have my whatever.
I feel
And
you.
and that's
That's
cool.
but that's another reason why I actually love Jet Set Radio because the freedom of expression in the game,
Mhm.
it speaks volumes to me. Just the freedom. It talks about freedom. It talks about freedom of expression. It talks about freedom of the rhythm of the streets, music.
You know what's awesome about that?
Yeah, what's that?
It got
What's
all
that?
those messages out there, right? And it doesn't feel forced.
Yes,
It just happens
Right.
organically.
Yeah.
dude. Oh,
I didn't
listen.
even think about it.
Oh,
No,
dude.
it was good. It was that's
Can
something very
Yeah.
few
oh my
people
god.
Because they did it the right way. That's what it
Yeah, they
is.
didn't
Thank
hit you over
you.
the head with it. It fit the story. It made for the story.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, see, this is another reason why I want to celebrate this game hard. I really do
Yeah.
because
This game speaks volumes.
this is it's like a shot across the bow. Jet Set Radio and everything is exactly what gaming should be. It should be a game, but it actually has the expression of the all those things. But they don't force it. They don't shout it to you and say, oh, this is what it's all about. No, they didn't do any of that stuff. It was more about, hey, make something of it yourself. Give it your own vibe. What are you getting out of it? And you actually do. But the thing is that the message is actually there. And if you're a smart guy or gal, you will actually kind of get it. You're like, oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
this is what the
Yes.
Rokuku group actually seems like. You know what I mean? And then of course you talk about the art as expression on the street, music and everything, underground radio and everything, giving you messages and stuff like that, which is actually so
Diversity
true.
characters as well.
The characters,
Yeah.
right? Oh my
None
god!
of it feels forced. I didn't even notice it. That's
Exactly.
how good the writing and the way it
There
was
you
portrayed.
go. And these things, and about
And
those
I
characters,
love
like I
all the
mentioned,
characters.
Yes,
So-
and the
yeah, and the
characters.
characters,
They did a
because
great
the characters
job.
were likable. The
Mm.
characters were very likable because you see,
Mhm.
you have all these characters here. You got your typical goth chick, you got an Asian girl, you have your what's his name? You have the black guy with the boombox.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know,
Buffalo.
And yeah, exactly. And then you got guys like Graham, and you got a guy that's weird. The weird
But
guy
they
who has
all
nothing but his
fit the
nose shown.
story and are
Exactly.
not pontificating about what they are. It's just,
Exactly.
hey, here's these cast of characters. They're interesting. Enjoy.
There it
And then
is.
You got a guy named Pat who wears that hat. And he looks exactly like the way you picture a rollerblader guy.
Yeah. So I mean, so
Which
what?
gang would you join? Which group would you guys join?
Oh, GG's all the way.
Of
GG's.
course,
You
the
gotta stay with the
GGs, man.
GGs,
Because-
yeah.
GG's.
Yeah, because I mean, come on, I don't want to be in a group where I have to wear like the same outfits like everybody else. I don't want to be in the
Yeah,
with the
they're the
poison
most
jam
free. The
where
GGs are the most free.
Yes, there you go.
exactly.
You know,
I don't want to wear
There's all these
like I said,
subtle things you start noticing, man.
absolutely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch over to the certain part in the game. This is the very beginning, believe it or not, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with me. It talks about the beginning of the game. We're still going to be on the screen, but you guys are going to see for yourself. And I don't know if you guys can be able to see on the background, but in the foreground, they're actually going to be able to see like a certain scene. I actually did the very beginning of the game and how this whole entire game kind of puts together. So bear with me right now. 1 second. Here we go. All right.
Skates, powered by newly developed Metrium batteries and Jet Set Radio, a pirate radio station manned by the DJ Professor K that plays nothing but non-stop hardcore music. Those street punks have been named Rudies by the people of Tokyo-to. They roam the streets and cover the city with their personal graffiti, claiming that it is their way of expressing themselves to the world. However, ever since the metropolitan government and the financial conglomerate, the Rokuku Group, combined their efforts to co-found the 21st Century Project, the streets of Tokyo-to have never been the same again.
So as we know, as it
Police
goes on,
crackdowns on the Rudies
I don't know
have
if,
become more severe,
I don't
and
think,
Captain
Johnny,
Onishima
can you see
is
it?
more anxious than ever
Is he on your
to put
side?
them behind bars.
No?
The streets of Tokyo-to are ready to explode.
That's the Booyah station, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, you!
yeah.
Okay, cool. So, right here, as you can tell, this is actually where you first get introduced with Gum. Gum is actually one of the first characters that you actually meet in the game.
That's right.
And of course, the GGs supposedly hasn't even been formed yet. This is actually if you remember, because remember they're actually joining you. So you actually are building. You are forming the GGs.
Yeah.
You are not even the GGs yet, which is actually a very fun fact. So and I actually didn't really catch it. I didn't really catch it, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You're not even a group yet. So you're actually doing tricks, and actually copying, the motions that these characters are doing, and impressing them, saying, oh well, okay, so you can be able to do what we can do. All right, let me join you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I'll hang out with you.
yeah, I'll hang with you, exactly. And then as they go on, as you go further into the game, you're going to meet more characters, and those characters will actually have certain tasks or certain things you just do. Like, for instance, you have races that you have to do, and all that stuff.
Hey, you!
Be able to,
Yeah.
and also some harder tricks to actually unlock them. It's so awesome. I think Cube's ones that I think were a little on the challenging side.
Well, no. I'll just laugh it off. It's like halfway through the game, you meet up with Combo and Cube because they're part of a group and they have with their friend Boy got mixed up with the Golden Rhino.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. That Goji wanted though, and then what ended up happening was you find out that coin was taken out. So Combo and Cube, what they did when they had to do their escape, and they were looking for the GGs for their help. And then later on, you go flashback story. Then they decide that they can find some GGs, and then you can do it right there. And then they join right there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
because they want to avenge. They want to avenge Coin's death.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how the story was actually talking about brainwashing, which is actually another thing. I mean, you think this game was way ahead of its time, completely ahead of its time.
I just want to add, though, I'm sorry to interrupt, though, but I do like the fact because at first it went a little bit lighthearted because you're trying to get away from the cops. But then later on, you find out about this group, like the Golden Rhino. These guys, they were not messing around. these guys will kill you if you try to stand their way or if you try to stop them. But if they want something that you have, you know, they'll take it away from you. And if you don't give it to them, they'll take you out. They won't hesitate to take you out. That's why you have all these guys mob.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's crazy.
You had guys that had snipers. You had guys that would throw cocktails at you. They were vicious. These guys.
Oh man, you know, and
They got heavy firepower against
a bunch of kids with
Yeah,
rollerblades.
that's what I said. These guys are vicious. You guys are
heavy
evil.
firepower for a bunch of kids on rollerblades.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? It's funny too. You can actually juxtapose this particular thing to today's society, which is actually a major.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's weird too because it's like, okay, well, freedom of expression is great, but what part is bad? Okay, why is it bad? It doesn't make any sense. But this is actually
Life wasn't good for one, but bad for the other.
bad for the other, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So,
And it's good no matter what side. So it's good.
Yeah.
so, but further out, in this game, you see that I'm actually trying to recruit. I believe it's was it Corn or the.
Corn was saying was a Jet Set Radio future, but that was supposed to be Tab.
Tab, I'm sorry, Tab.
Remember,
Yeah,
they changed the name.
Tab, right.
Yeah, Tab is the one in the blue though.
I don't
want colors in future.
This is what I don't understand. Why they changed the name of Corn in the sequel and not Tab? What?
Yeah, but you want to know what's playing over there?
Yeah, maybe. It could be.
Well, with the Piranha. Piranha was a Japanese
Nice.
but in the Jet Set Radio future, they changed the name to
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, boogie.
Boogie.
Boogie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just make it too confusing, to be honest. I also realized that actually the music stayed the same. I didn't change any of the music. They kept all the original K-pop music and K-pop music, and of course some like I think Kaibo something. But they actually did birthday cake. That was actually Zibo Mato. There you go. Yes. So they actually did birthday cake, which is another song that I actually kind of like too. It's actually weird but funky.
It was a weird song. I was talking about that earlier.
Yeah, but
It reminds me a lot of the 90s also.
Hey out there, this is Tokyo's very own number one pirate power station, Jet Set Radio! Over the hood, through the streets, and right into your brain. We're transmitting our signal straight to you. Y'all got your antennas on or what? Yeah, we're right behind a smooth stream of supersonic sound. And I'm your captain and DJ, Professor K. Jet Set Radio!
what's another?
3 games are fighting for the Tokyo streets. In the west, from Beijing, the city of the night, we got those high-tech maniacs, those man machines, the noise tapes. And in the east, from Kobanecho, the city of the sunset, it's that crazy monster mask-wearing gang, Poison Jam. And from Shibuya in the south, the city of their night, it's those troublemaking punks, the GGs. The GG's home turf, Shibuya was just attacked. Was it Poison Jam? They were talking about spreading out there. Or maybe it was the noise tank, trying to send a system crash through the whole city. Listen up, all you innocent fools out there. Officer Onishima has got some special order Satsu bracelets all ready for you. So, get yourselves to the bathroom and brush those teeth, boys and girls. Because a whole load of trouble is heading your way.
He said, "Oh wow, I love it." his attitude is unique.
Oh,
United
he's such an
States,
awesome dude,
powered by
man.
newly developed Metrium batteries and Jet Set Radio, a pirate
Can you
radio
dig
station
it?
manned by
Oh,
the
yeah,
DJ
well,
Professor
Oh,
K.
no, not him.
that
No,
plays
no, no.
nothing
I'll talk
but
about the lady. The
hardcore
lady on
music.
the lady on the.
Those street punks have been named Rudies by the people of Tokyo.
What was the
They
other-
roam the
what-
streets
what-
and cover the
what's
city with their
again?
personal graffiti, claiming that it is their way of expressing themselves to the world. However, ever since the metropolitan government and the financial conglomerate, the Rupkaka Group, combined their efforts to co-found the 21st Century Project, the streets of Tokyo have never been the same again. Police crackdowns on the Rudies have become more severe, and Captain Onishima is more anxious than ever to put them behind bars. The streets of Tokyo are ready to explode.
You know what? Ever since we're talking about the Warriors, I have to
Hey,
feel
you!
like a lot of people, you know, that was creating this game, I think they got their inspiration from the Warriors. I really do believe
At
that.
least some of it.
They
At least
had
some of it. Remember, you figured that out earlier in the show.
That's right.
Yeah, I think they had to.
Yeah.
My God.
Gangs, corrupt police, you know, that kind of thing, everything.
Of course, yeah.
Oh man, there's
Throwing
so
some good beats.
there's so much.
It's
So,
Warriors with good beats, rollerblades, and spray cans.
Hey, and anytime they see the cops, they gotta run away from them.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so let's talk about here's another good question for the chat. If you could design your own graffiti tag, I already said that. I'm sorry. Which JSR or JSRF character, that means Jet Set Radio or Jet Set Radio Future character, has the most iconic fashion sense and why?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
That is a hard one. You know what? There's actually one character I like from Jet Set Radio Future. You guys remember Jazz?
Yes, Jazz. Right. The dark.
I think Jazz has a very, very unique look to her, though. Even she had short, she was black. She had short bleach hair.
Yep.
They kind of gave her like a little bit of I wouldn't say maybe a little bit of a Holly Berry look at the time. I don't know if you could see it though, but go take a look at you know, you guys gonna call me crazy, but I think Jazz had that little Holly Berry look to her.
Let me see.
No, she does. You see it. I can see it.
Let me see.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Hold
Or
on.
is it just me?
Her face too.
Yeah. Okay. I thought
Looks like
it was just me,
her
but
like her executive decision.
yes.
The short hair. Yeah.
Yeah, with the short hair, but her hair is
Maybe her face. Yeah, I can see it.
the face, yes.
Let's
But the
see.
hair, a little, you know, I mean, she's got short hair like Holly Berry, but yeah. Her, and then there was another guy that I also liked though. Clutch was a good one too. He's a guy with the red jacket.
With the skateboard.
Yeah.
He's got a skateboard.
Yeah, he's got a skateboard, but he rollerblades too. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
But they have some very unique characters though. Like I love the way they added like new characters to the game.
Let me see. I'm
So.
trying to see. I think they actually have. Oh yeah, here we go. The characters that are actually distinctive. I mean, first of all, let's talk about the enemies. The noise tanks. That's a very weird, funky look to themselves. They almost look like robots in a sense. You know, they're and what's funny too is that you find out that they actually are kind of cyborg-ish type of things. The noise tanks that are actually controlled by the Rokoku group. And then you have Rhythm or Rhythm. I think her name is Rhythm.
Well, Rhythm is actually Mew from Jet Grind Radio, the first one. Remember they changed the name.
Oh, that's right. They did change the name, right? But
yeah. Look at Red and look at Mew.
They say the same character, but they changed the name. So yeah. But the correct term for her name is Risu or Rin or Riz. Yeah. So they actually
version,
right
yes.
in the Japanese version. So they decided to change their name. I don't know why, but I think the name was more distinctive if they actually kept it the way it was. You know, we can go deep into that rabbit hole. With all the different characters. Another character that's also kind of funky is Mr. Let's talk about
Here's why I got a question.
yeah.
No, we talked about Soda already.
What's the connection between Jet Set Radio and Future? Is it a next generation? Is it an alternate universe?
Oh,
that
actually,
could explain it.
okay. Funny story.
I think it's a reboot, right? Or
No,
Think it's an alternate universe?
no, not even, not
What is it?
even,
What's the
no.
connection?
Okay, here's a funny thing. Okay, basically, Jet Set Radio Future, right? It's actually because because DJ Professor K and everything, he's much older. This actually takes place. This takes place
Oh, is he?
way into the future, way into the way,
remember, he had white
yeah,
hair a little bit.
way into the future. But what happened was the GGs kind of disbanded in a sense. So they, because nothing was really going on. But then they found out that the Rikoko group actually was slowly rebuilding in the shadows. But no one really knew what the heck was going on until further on. Then we find out that the one who took over Onimusha's job was just Hayashi. Hayashi took over his position and actually brought back because they actually was going to I think they were going to reestablish, I guess, the police or the headquarters, and he wanted to kind of get his clout. So he actually was going after all those groups and the like. And then they were finding out that these weird tags are starting to appear again all over the place, and they were blaming in the GGs. The GGs were disbanded. They didn't exist, but they were blaming them. So they were actually going after them again, which is actually kind of funky. And I was like,
See, here's where I'm confused. Right?
yeah. What's that?
I still think it's an alternate. I think because why are the kids the same age if DJ Professor K aged?
No, they're not the same.
Yeah.
No, they aged. They all aged.
Yo-Yo is still a kid, dude.
Yo-Yo is
The kid didn't age. DJ only aged.
I mean, maybe aged like 1 year, but that's about it.
Hold on. I'm actually gonna get some facts here. I need receipts. Hold on a second. Let me just.
We're digging for the lore, man. This is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also they said that Cube used to work with the Poison Jams as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of different.
Okay. Basically. Okay. So here's the thing. Let's see. Role, personality, appearance, overview. All right. So okay. Yo-Yo is cocky, rambunctious. He's a DJ Professor K also notes that Yo-Yo will blow people's minds with his silver tongue. Blah blah blah. He was actually a player. It's shown when he tells the player about the Psycho Hayashi. Okay, this is actually talking about the sequel. So Yo-Yo actually had more of a major role in the sequel. Yo-Yo did not in the first game. So because you actually meet him further into the game.
And you had to beat him in a race. That's how I'm enjoying
Right. But in the sequel, he was more of a major player. And let me see. I think the only time Yo-Yo's lying tendency is brought up is in response to the Rapid 99. So basically, he actually had some dark secrets behind him, which is the reason why he probably disappeared and got captured. So that's a fun fact for you right there.
Because I'm seeing that it's not a direct sequel; it's more of a reimagining.
Like a reboot.
It's still very similar.
So it's kind of So it's kind
of like a remake of it.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah, they're all not reimagined. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you play the game further, remember, like if you play the game further and you finally finish the game and everything. Spoiler alert. DJ Professor K and everything was actually announcing, hey, okay, this is Just Set Radio. And he said, wait, hold on, and everything. No. We're gonna call this Just Set Radio Future and everything because because then he was talking about the future is in the hands of all those who actually want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And this is actually before you actually face Goju and everything in the Phantom Zone. So this is actually another thing that's really pretty funky. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. He didn't really age much. There's something. It's kind of funky because
none of them did.
You're right. They're all still.
They're
teenagers.
Like they could be like a year older. That's it.
Yeah,
They look pretty much the same to me.
they're
They
still
look the same.
they're still teenagers, but
No, no, but they did change. They changed their outfits.
they
a bit,
changed their
though.
outfits,
So,
and
a little bit.
they're a little
Not
bit
too much.
they're a little bit taller. Yo-Yo doesn't have his
Yeah.
hood anymore. He has green hair and glasses now.
Yeah, and look at B though. B changed his shirt.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of this. There are subtle.
Maybe DJ Professor K just stopped dyeing his hair.
Nah,
No.
he just grew older. He just grew older. He just grew older. You know.
He might have been older than we thought. You know.
Probably. You're right.
Never know.
Well, you know. Let's
Yes,
see.
you just never know.
You just man. Man, this goes really deep. Oh my gosh. I mean, let's go even deeper. When it comes to certain character lore, especially the story itself, you can tell that they really thought out the connections between all these characters. Like for instance, you remember like there's a certain stage. I mean, well, just in Radio Future anyway, where you meet someone and everything and talks about your souls, right? He's like, oh, let me see your souls. Give me those souls and everything. And then you have to go and chase him and stuff like that in 3 different districts, to find him. And he said, oh, you got to go here. And then when you go there and you find out that he's not there, then he tells you, oh, you got to go here. So you have to go 3 different districts just to find this dude. And then when you finally catch up to him, he actually gives you 3 challenges. And then you finally unlock him. And then he tells you the secret behind what's going on with the
I think that was Clutch though.
Clutch.
That was Clutch.
Yeah, Clutch. Yeah, exactly. So
The
he's
red jacket. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So he was the one that
Red jacket beat him.
kind of unraveled. He kind of unraveled what the heck was going on because he actually was curious about the about the GGs and stuff like that. So and he said okay, well, but he also needed their help. So that was actually kind of funky. I actually love that, where you actually find out that these unknowns, right, start to come into fruition. And then, of course, you find out, hey, okay, now there's a darker purpose. Let's and then let's talk about the music. There's something behind the music as well. When it boils down to it, the underground radio station, Just Say Radio and everything, had a huge part in the whole entire game. So it's not just the underground radio. It's also the messages behind DJ Professor K, which is so awesome. And he gives you all the clues. He tells you what's been going on. And tells you that Onimusha got fired. Yeah, he literally got fired in the game. And then of course the Golden Rhinos took over. They say, oh, and then all their tags were all over the place. And I think they were doing what you were calling underground recruiting. So they actually captured, I think it was the noise tanks. There was the noise tanks. I think it was. It wasn't the other one. No, it was what was the monster one? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get that.
Well, you're talking about the gangs.
Yeah, the gangs.
I mean, the gangs you had was the Noise Tanks, the Immortals, the Doom Riders.
No.
Yeah, not Poison Jam was one of the first you met.
Yeah,
So,
Poison Jam. No, it wasn't Poison Jam.
yeah.
Oh goodness gracious! I'm
What?
losing my mind. Goodness gracious. I had the name right there in front of my face. No, it wasn't the Noise Tanks. It was it was the ones that actually dress up as monsters. There was
The Immortals.
the Immortals, right?
Yeah, the Immortals. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just talking about them.
No. So sorry. There was Poison Jam. My God, I'm getting them mixed up. Poison Jam was actually the first ones that but they actually got captured. Remember that? Remember like when you first defeated them, they actually disappeared. So there was something more sinister and in the whole entire thing, which is actually kind of dark. Really dark story. I mean, it really is if you actually look further into it. And of course, when you actually meet when you meet up with Cube and Combo,
Yes.
they actually tell you further in the story and what happened, what's going on, and why they were actually reaching out to the GGs and joining them.
Yeah, that was in the first game. We discussed that because Coin got killed from the Golden Rhinos.
Right. So,
Actually, just confirmed it's a reimagining from the directors themselves.
oh really? So it was a
Okay,
wow.
Yeah, it's a reimagining or like a soft reboot type.
Okay.
That
Okay.
explains the character name changes, and they wanted to age DJ Professor K, that kind of thing. Because the first Jet Set Radio takes place in modern times. It's what, 2000?
Yes.
Jet Set Radio Future was what
2000.
they thought would be 2024.
All right. So
Okay.
here's a fun question for our audience. What one level or moment that gave you the biggest adrenaline rush? Was it Tokyo in Jet Set Radio or Neo Tokyo in Jet Set Radio Future? You know what? Can I start? Can I start? I have to. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Neo Tokyo, man. Neo Tokyo had so much verticality in that game.
Yes.
Like just the fact that you could be able to do air combos like several times in the air. It's like if you get enough gaining that speed, and you can actually be able to just build that combo like ultra crazy, grinding against the walls, and also being able to grind up walls. You have the verticality and stuff like that. You can be able to go on these billboards and jump off the billboards to another billboard and and also the buildings and the heights and all that stuff. And you're afraid to fall and all. Oh my gosh, so damn cool. They got me in the feels, with that game. And just being able to get the largest combo you possibly could, which is actually really awesome. So I would say, Neo Tokyo definitely. How about you guys?
Yeah.
I have to agree with you. Also, it was my first foray into the Jet Set Radio universe.
Oh yes, as you were mentioning before, indeed.
So the differences are noticeable when I went back to the original. Definitely not gameplay wise or story wise. Both were great.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if I'm getting a little ahead of myself here though. But we have a new Jet Set Radio game that's coming out in the future. So, and the only thing we know is that the only characters we see so far is Beat, Combo, and Gum, and then we see DJ Professor K. He has the same hairstyle that he had in Jet Set Radio. So, and then we only saw Shibuya. That's it, though. We only saw a little bit of Shibuya. Now, what is it that you guys would like to see in the third upcoming game? Is there anything that anything like maybe like new features, or maybe if this is like a feature that you want to see that from the two original games just to come back, or characters?
I want it just as fast paced and playable as Future. Everything else that would come out, like any new features, that's icing on the cake for me. If they just make it as good as Future, I'm happy.
I think I would say a game that really would I would actually I would put I would go more emphasis on the original concept of actually doing the graffiti in the first game. Although the second game they didn't make it fast paced, we had to just press one button, made it easier for the newcomers and stuff like that, so you don't have to wiggle the controllers. But I feel like the challenge of actually doing it as quickly as possible is actually what would actually be the thing. I also like the fact that you had to work for the combos. So pardon the noise in the background. The alarm is going on.
No, I gotta add to that though, because you can do the air combos and tag at the same time too. In the future, both have their advantages. fun factors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you know what? Incorporate both.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah, put a mixture of it because
you can do both.
because remember in Jet Set Radio Future, when you're grinding, there's a part where you have to spray paint a large graffiti.
Oh yeah, there's
So
a bunch of
I don't know
places
if you remember
like
that. Yeah, that you had
That'd
to
be
do
really
that.
hard to
And-
do the
and you-
original way.
Exactly, and you can't do that while you're pressing like up and down or 360. You can't do it like that.
And
I would
jumping
say-
around doing these combos too.
Exactly. I would say only do that part like if you're standing at like a billboard and you have to do it there,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly,
when you have to do that. There you go.
That's what I mean too. Yeah,
You know what? That's a good.
it's a good compromise.
Yeah, that is. I mean,
Mhm. Absolutely.
if they can mesh a little bit of the verticality in the sequel and the complexity of the first game, but of the like the combos and what have you, I would say you have a perfect package. Not only that, they need to bring Nagayama back to do the music, because his style is unmatched when it comes to the funk, when it comes to the concept of the music, and also just the originality of his style, which actually really makes it Jet Set Radio. I'm hoping in the sequel they do listen to some of the fans and keep some of the original concept, even though they want to update it. They want to make it more modernized. I get it, but they can't take away the essence of what made Jet Set Radio special.
That's right.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. They can do whatever they want. They can actually add more stages if they wanted to. If they want to, I would hope that they actually had the original characters. Maybe add a couple of new ones. New concepts. I wouldn't mind. But the vibrance, they got to keep it. Cell shading, they have to keep that. Oh my gosh, if they get rid of the
I don't
cell,
think they're gonna change that.
they can't.
No,
They
because
can't.
That is
look at the
safe.
early footage.
Yeah.
Well, look at the early footage from that trailer that we saw. They're definitely keeping it that style.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they did show some earlier concepts, and they actually were asking publicly which one looks better, because they actually had though with the thicker lines, and then they had the one with like the thin, skinny lines, and then they had the ones with where it's kind of like in between, and also the more pastelish colors. And I was actually kind of leaning towards the pastelish colors, man, because it's just like that. There's something about it that actually shouts art. I mean, this game has to be artsy. It has to. Art is the big concept. I mean, Jet Set Radio.
About art.
It has to. It has to hit. Besides the music, the art has to hit. And that's the reason why I'm so looking forward to. But there's no details on when they're gonna show more. They always show like the teaser, a small little teaser, and it hurts.
I know.
It hurts, man.
You know what really kind of hurts though? I was, since we got near around the 25th anniversary, I was really hoping that Sega would have shown some more details of the game. We still haven't seen anything yet. I mean, it was pretty cool that Sega had that event though, where they had like all these rollerblader, all these guys in rollerblades doing all these tricks, and then you had these people doing graffiti art. I thought that was cool and everything, but the thing was that people wanted to see a little more details on that game. We haven't got nothing about it though. I mean, it would have been nice, I mean, here's the thing. I have a mess. I gotta tell this to Sega. I said, listen, Sega. I love the fact that you're doing these events, but please don't just do all these events exclusively to the West Coast. Bring some of these events around the East Coast. Okay?
Yeah, get over here.
Exactly. So, but I don't know if you guys seen like some pictures from that event though, but it actually was pretty cool though that they celebrate like that. But like I said, people wanted to see a little more details on this game. So, I mean, we haven't heard anything, and we haven't seen anything from this new Jet Set Radio since the Game Awards, which was back in 2023. We just saw little clips of footage here and there and screenshots, and that was it. That's all we saw. So I'm hoping later this year we'll get something, because I want to know if there's going to be like online play, which people are speculating there's going to be online play, and if it's going to have online play, I just hope they have some co-op campaign too as well. And of course, you want to have some like in Jet Set Radio Future, they have that 4-player multiplayer, and you can compete against each other, like rather races or time attacks, or who gets their graffitis on the balls. That I'm pretty sure they'll add to it though. But what you said earlier, Tarz, that you know, if you don't mind the DLC, maybe add more characters, but add more story to it.
Yep.
That would make a lot more sense. Keep the game going fresh. To keep the game being fresh.
Yeah.
You know, you definitely want to put more new content in the game, and then maybe they'll add more graffitis as well. I can see that. Music. So
yeah.
Those are just my thoughts. So that's what I want to see though. But with the characters, you know, of course, bring the original GGs, and then bring some new characters as well. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you
Basically, what I'm saying is everything you did great in 1 and 2, or in Radio and Future, more of that. More of that.
Right.
The story is integral too. It's got to be a great story.
Now.
Yeah, it definitely. And the online play too as well.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I can't wait to see what they're going to do that with that as well. So.
I'm pretty sure that online incorporation is going to be a big thing, especially when it comes to the game. But you know, because I mean, online is like a huge thing right now. But between you guys, I'm going to ask you. Do you think will it be a direct sequel, or do you think it's going to be another reimagining? I have to ask you that because remember, it seemed like the ending of Jet Set Radio Future seemed more definitive than anything, but maybe not. You know, because remember the game was kind of opened up and everything. After you finish the game, you could still be able to traverse the city, and there was still things to do. But once you unlock everything, then there's not really much you can do. But I'm thinking that maybe could you think that they actually might kind of expand on the Jet Set Radio instead of just doing just Tokyo or Neo Tokyo, or do you think they might kind of branch off into other venues? You know, possibly. I mean, because remember, Japan is huge. This is actually like a definitive, you know, the definitive Japan. So why not kind of expand, you know, because they have Shibuya-to, Tokyo-to, and then of course, you know, the other locations as well. You know, possibly could do some more more venues that are larger and expanded a little bit more, maybe more underground, you know, kind of things, or maybe even like more verticality, because remember, you actually go to the very top, you know, tippy top, especially in Jet Set Radio Future, to the very tippy top and everything of certain sky rises and stuff like that, and you have to like go climb all the way up to the very, very top. And you got all these beams and the high rises that you had to hit at the traverse, which was like crazy, and all the moving and all that stuff, and you get kind of confused because sometimes you actually get to a certain part and you say, wait a minute, should I jump this gap and everything to actually get further up? Huh?
I'm sorry, we gotta back up a second. Dorian said co-op tagging.
Oh, yeah, that would be that's a good call, Dorian. Absolutely.
You can do that with the online, exactly. Yeah.
You know, or better yet, have like online competitions and everything where you can actually form your own groups, 3-on-3 or 3, you know, whatever. You know what I mean?
That is a good idea. Yeah.
I would love that if they could do something like that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, not just like a full all-out battle, like, you know, race against each other and or getting the most graffiti. No, this you can still have those, but from what Dorian just said, absolutely, you definitely want to add new features to the online play. Absolutely.
Yeah, they really have to expand on what worked. They don't overthink. I hope they don't overthink on anything. Keep the concepts as close to the source material as possible. Don't drastically change everything, and you do not have to make it too modernized. You don't have to go with the trends.
You don't want that.
Yeah, please, just don't do it. Just stay in your lane. Keep keep it keep it kind of status quo, but expand on it. Kind of go a little bit outside the box a little bit. And if you can do that, then I can say, hey, you know what? We got ourselves a winner. But I'm pretty sure they want to get a broader go get to a broader audience as well. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably, I don't know, they'll probably inject some things that actually are closer to modern as possible, but hopefully not to overstep their bounds. I don't want them to do that. And because I really would like this game to really blow up. I mean, listen, I wanted the game to blow up when the first game came out. When Jet Set Radio came out, or Jet Grind Radio came out, I said, oh my gosh, I wanted to shout to the mountaintops. I told everybody about it. Oh gosh, you gotta try this game. Oh, you gotta try this game. And everybody that I showed it to was hooked. They were hooked into the game. And that's the kind of synergy that I actually want out of this game. I'm hoping that the sequel will actually bring that.
Yeah. Now you asked me that should it be a sequel or should it be a reimagining?
Yeah.
From what I've seen from the small little teasers, I think this is going to be a reimagining. Because
I'm leaning toward that too.
Yeah, because from what I've seen all the characters. They look like they're redesigned. They're all young. I mean, DJ Professor K. I mean, he looks like himself from Jet Grind Radio. So I think, and then here's the thing, though. Who's going to be the villain, though? We're going to see the return of Captain Onimisha. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him again. His goofy ass with the big ass gun. Who doesn't want to see him? So, but I think this is going to be a reimagining. I think we're going to see the return of Poison Jam. We're going to see the Love Shockers. We're going to see probably Noise Tank, Rapid 99, the Immortals, and maybe we'll see some new gangs. That's what I guarantee you, we're going to see some new gangs for sure.
Oh yeah, we have to. We have to. You know what? It's almost inevitable. They have to actually introduce something different. They can't really stick to the same for too much of the same formula. They have to kind of branch out a little bit more. Could be another female group, could be an android group, could be anything. Could be like a subsidiary of the Rhinos. The Golden Rhinos. Can you imagine? They'd actually kind of say, okay, the Golden Rhinos and everything was a group, but there was actually something even darker and more sinister that was actually behind that, and they actually introduced that group. And
hear me out. I would love to see I love to see like a heavy hitters, like a football group that rollerblades, and they just imagine that.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, you mean like that? You mean like the part? You remember the?
Yeah, but you have to use their force against them though. So you have to use your speed to trick them though. But of course you don't want to bump into these guys. These guys will ram your ass over. So that's another group I have in mind for that.
Okay.
But there's so many gang members and so many gimmicks that they could do with these gangs.
Good.
So many.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Holy cow. That's.
But
Go ahead.
there's another. Before we go on to the next one, do you think this game should have online co-op for campaign as well, or we should just leave it single player?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome.
I would do that.
I was thinking too.
So,
So here's my take is I think a direct sequel is possible based on the timeline. Yeah, but again, the ending seemed pretty like closed off, like they closed up all loose ends. I imagine.
But here's the
What? Hold on. What made
ahead,
Jet Set Radio? The art and the music and the locale.
Mhm.
Yes.
What if it's a reimagining, but they expand to other cities? Like you could jet grind all over like Paris, London,
I was just
Vegas,
thinking
like
that.
a huge world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make it a worldwide thing. Make them even
That'd be awesome.
bigger. That and not just that, you can feature DJs, music, and everything from all those other countries with the cities that you're going to. It can be huge that way.
Yeah.
I agree.
So DJ
Expand
Professor
the
K
story.
isn't the only DJ.
Expand the environment.
Put some more, put other DJs, not just Professor K. I would love to see that.
It could be a network of DJs, dude, in other cities. They all got in league with DJ Professor K to lead this revolution.
Wow,
Yeah,
you're onto something. I think you're onto something.
Make it something huge, like a worldwide revolution set up with Jet Set Radio in the entire center. It all falls on you.
Oh my gosh!
Wow! You get so invested in the story, man.
I like that idea. But you know what? Now that you mention it, if there is going to be a sequel, because remember what's his name? Goji, who fell off and fell to his doom. His son decided. His son took over the Golden Rhinos and the.
No, I'm talking about a reimagining. I said a direct sequel is possible, but I went to the reimagining.
I'm just saying that what happened at the end of Jet Grind Radio, because Goji's son took over his company now, the Roku Clan and the Golden Rhinos.
Oh, that's right.
No, what happens when a company like reaches the top? What do they want to do? They want to expand. They go everyone else around them. So what new groups could be under them, or who could they be working for? Yeah, a worldwide game would be awesome.
Oh, you know
I would
what?
love to grind in Vegas on those neon signs.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine that? Oh.
Imagine all the things they could do if they extend to other cities. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, or
Miami.
even make it worldwide. Yeah. If they make it worldwide, imagine that. Can you imagine that thing like a jet set radio where you could be able to they have these rails or something, not even rails, but these because it's the future. Of course it is. It'll be where jetliners or whatever it is. Yeah. You could traverse to other regions and actually be able to do more different things. And believe it or not, besides DJ Professor K, he'll actually have some subsidiaries and everything in their own underground radio. And yeah, I love what you're spitting there. It's actually pretty.
You know what else I think you might see? Not just rollerblades. You see guys on skateboards, maybe even BMX.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be nuts.
So, but almost like beat. What's it called? Beat. What's it called? Something beat. Bomb Rush or something like that. It was.
That was like a spiritual success.
Yeah, spiritual success. I believe it or not.
Bring it back and make it theirs.
Yeah. And then I think Hideki actually did a. He did the soundtrack to that game too.
Work on that, yeah.
So that's wow, man, that's a nice little push right there. But let's talk about what else. What message or theme from the Jet Set series resonated with you the most? Was it the rebellion? Was it the freedom? Or was it the community?
I liked it all.
That's a simple answer. Yeah, that's a real simple one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the music also.
Okay. If you had a scale, okay, let's tip the scale. I'm gonna throw a nice little curveball at you. If you could tip the scales, you can only pick one. It's almost like you have 3 favorite sons and everything. You love them all, but of course, in the back of your mind, there's a little favorite. So which one actually seems like it resonated with you more? Kind of like
Definitely the freedom.
Freedom. Okay. That's a
something
good
huge
answer.
to me.
That's a good answer. That's a good
Yeah.
answer. Good answer.
Just to go around. You know?
Yeah. So you agree though on Johnny, or do you have another?
Yeah, exactly. The freedom to me is more important. Go anywhere you want to go, when you want to go, wherever you want to go. That's always important. Your choice.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go a little different with you guys. I'm gonna say it's a little bit more of the community. You know why? Because I feel like when it comes to the GGs, how they actually built their team. Their team was built by going through trials and tribulations and all that strife, and you actually build new relationships and everything because they actually are pretty much in the same struggle, fighting on the same side, but they also have to gain your trust. So the only way to gain their trust and everything is to actually say, hey, you know what, this is what we do, and basically they actually become what's it called, learn by example, or actually be the example. And as they being the example, it showed, okay, well, these guys are cool. These guys are, yeah, I can hang with them, and then they actually become part of the same team. So that's what's it called? Camaraderie. There you go. That's the word. And also the fact that the togetherness and actually the building the community as a team was amazing to me, and I actually it resonated with me a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love the freedom. Freedom is actually good too, but I just feel like they're so interconnected with each other and everything, because it's like the freedom of expression, and
No,
everything
the whole
actually
game was
built that.
fight for power.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then
Right.
and besides the rebellion, I mean, I guess it's just fighting against, not just fighting against the man, so to speak. It's more,
Fighting bad people, anything bad.
yeah.
I dig that.
It's more, yeah. It's more.
I don't know what it is. If it's bad, I want to fight it.
Yeah, but the great thing about it, when they fight with art. They fight with expression. They fight with being
Friendship.
being themselves. That's the major fight. You don't
Yeah,
you
they're not
don't
doing it 'cause they feel
conform.
they have to.
You
They're
don't
doing
have
it
to
'cause they're cool.
conform. Yeah, you don't have to conform. You
Right.
don't have to be the one with the system. You have you actually are. You are
It's a nightmare to me. The hell with that.
well, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course, and that's what makes this game so amazing and different, and that is the reason why that I actually can relate so strongly with this one. You don't have to be violent. You don't have to be you can be
Yeah.
you can but
Exactly. Yeah.
you fight with your talent. You fight with your art. You fight with what you call it, your freedom of expression. You fight with that. That is what that's what makes you that's what makes you the bigger man on campus and everything. You're above all that because you are different. You don't have to follow. So which is
Exactly.
really wild. So
Yeah.
that
And what's so unique about the and what's so unique about the GGs is like everybody, each character is different. Okay,
Yeah.
each character has their own personality,
Vastly
their
different.
own agendas. What's that?
They're vastly different from each other. What a cast of characters. They fit everybody.
Exactly. And the only thing that these characters have in common with each other is their trust and their friendships and their purpose on what they want to accomplish.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what makes the GG so unique.
You know what's crazy about all this is before we did this show, I didn't even look at the game in this light, but now I see it from a different perspective too. I actually love it even more.
Exactly. And like I said before, this is the right way of showing diverse characters. This is the perfect way to represent all these characters.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I can't even think of there's some games out there that does it right, but this game does it perfectly.
You know why, right?
Was that?
They developed a character who just happen to be whatever ethnicity you make it as. They didn't like say, I'm gonna make a black guy, I'm gonna make an Asian guy, I'm gonna make a Latin guy. And he's gonna be this, this, and this, exactly this. No, it just kind of happened when the artists let it flow with their personalities. Who should they be? You know?
Yep.
They're original characters. They're original characters. They're not swapped over from something else, or created for the sole purpose of pushing a message. They were just they just happened to be that.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome, you know. But it happens organically, you know. You see where people's mindsets were when they were creating the game.
That's right.
That's an amazing point, Tony. I mean, I feel like it's this is exactly what makes games certain games, especially games like this, which is the reason why I love the fact that there's a diverse amount of games that don't have to stay on the status quo. You know what I mean? I love when games actually kind of breaks the barrier in a sense, but doesn't force it. It just says, hey, this is a game, that just so happens to be in a certain setting, with a certain group of characters that you may or may not that you may or may not relate with, but that you may
that nonsense.
but it's still awesome, and you would actually enjoy it, and that is what I want. That's what anybody wants. I hope that's everybody wants.
I want us to play together and enjoy themselves.
You don't have to. The game doesn't have to cater just to you. It doesn't have to cater just to your kind or your person. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be for your gender. It doesn't have to be.
People outside your narrow worldview exist.
Thank you. Yes. It make the game what you want the game to be. It doesn't have to be forced, which is actually my point. My point exactly. And Jet Set Radio is actually a game that breaks all molds, and is a game that actually kind of points out to. Actually, matter of fact, it actually is the first game that also fought the system. It really did. It actually it's a game that was completely different than any other game that you ever played out there. There was no game like it at all. It was so different. So strangely amazing and so strangely delicious, and which is the reason why it was so good, Besides the fact that it was cel-shaded graphics. I mean, yeah, that was like the icing on the cake. But everything else in the game was so thought out, so well thought out, and no one to this very day, no one really knew how deep the lore of Jet Set Radio actually was until they actually played it. And then when they played it in its completion, they said, "Wow." No lie. I talked to a few people. I said, "You ever played Jet Set Radio?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, I remember that game. And I played it when I was on the 360." I said, "Yeah, I played it when it was on the Dreamcast." They're like, "Yeah, but I played the game in the thing. I thought it was different." I said, "Well, what the heck? They was dealing with rollerblading and stuff like that." And so they're thinking like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something like that, right?
See, that's
yeah. They were complete.
I was like, it's like a Tony Hawk game.
This game hit them.
It's for freeze frame.
Yeah.
It is so not that. It is a group of people teaming up to fight the bad guys. I dig it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it hit this game hit them sideways. It really did. It kind of said, they said, "Wow." They told me, "Wow, this game is so deep in with just like political nuances in the game that you would not notice until you were like really in the know." These are guys. These guys are like lawyers and stuff like that. These guys, these are people that that are in the know, right? When they play this game, they're like, "Whoa!" They said, "Whoa." This game hits hard.
See details.
Yeah, it hits hard. It hits so hard, and I'm like, "Dang," And you know what? Trust me, I wish this game was actually publicly available again, and I'm praying that even though the new game is coming out, and it is, we don't know when, we don't know when, but I'm praying that this game will actually be re-released somehow, or maybe even do a bundle and bring Jet Set Radio Future to other consoles. My God, that's a missed opportunity. I don't understand it. Sega, what are you doing? This game right there.
Limit your audience? Are you guys insane?
Wow! Holy cow!
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, the Tars, because I mean, right now since they're working on the third game, why not, like you said, why not bring like a bundle of the Jet Grind Radio and Jet Set Radio Future so people can catch up who never play these games?
Exactly. People only know about videos and game and let's plays from like back in 1990 whatever, and that's all you're getting, and that's a travesty. It's a travesty. It doesn't make any sense. So I mean, I'm sorry, that 1992, 2000s, in the 2000s. I mean, really. I mean, I'm saying to myself, bro, come on, man. I mean, why not? Why not bring this game to the forefront to the masses of today? Why not do you don't even have to do a remaster. Just bring it in its original form. That was perfect enough.
Yeah.
It really does. It really. You couldn't get any more perfect in a game. I mean, yeah, you can make it more hot, more the resolution a little bit more improved. I mean, you could do that, whatever. Or better yet, you can even like remaster the music, make it more high quality.
Here's the problem though. What about the licensed music though?
Yeah. See, that's where things get dicey. I think we talked about that in one of our earlier episodes, where like certain games, reason why certain games actually get delisted is because of licensed music or characters or likenesses or whatever it is.
Yep.
And that's the reason why there's like so much red tape. There's always red tape when it comes to that. But no company's willing to spend the money and say, hey, you know what? We will give you a royalty for every single copy bought, sold, or downloaded if you actually decide to let us have this game for a certain time period, like 5 years or something like that. I don't know. Like a 5-year window. Say, listen, bring this game out 5 years, have it on all available downloadable sites and everything, whatever, whether it's on Steam or Epic's Game Store or the PlayStation Network or the Xbox Game Store, whatever. Make the game available everywhere and have this game get the eyes. They need the eyes on in this game to make it grow, to make them to say, hey, oh, have you heard of Jet Set Radio? Oh yeah, I heard about Jet Set Radio. That's an amazing freaking game. Holy cow! Why did I miss this game? And there's a lot of people out there who actually finally got an opportunity to download the game before it became delisted. And those are the ones that was pleasantly surprised of how well the game was. And how fun and amazing and the music and everything about the game. Just everything about the game was like, and they said, how did I miss this game? They said that. They said they knew about the.
I definitely said I missed it the
Oh
first
yeah.
time around, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I kicked myself when I didn't get to enjoy that earlier. But I what I love is I have both, and I can still enjoy them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I said this before. The only reason I bought the original Xbox was because of Jet Set Radio Future.
Really?
Wow. Yeah,
It wasn't Halo. It was Jet Set Radio Future because I loved Jet Grind Radio so much on the Dreamcast. I wanted to play the sequel. And then when I was able to get the money to buy an original Xbox, when I saw Jet Set Radio Future came out, and I saw how what the graphics were and everything, I said, I have to play this game. But it's only for the original Xbox. I said, screw it, I'm getting an original Xbox to play that game. Just like putting it out there.
Wow, man.
Yes.
That's crazy. Here's another question for my chat. Let's how did playing Jet Set Radio shape your appreciation for street culture, music, or art growing up? Who wants to fire the first shot?
I was already growing up when it came out, though. So
Yeah.
this for the
I,
cat.
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there. Oh gosh. No, but
I'm pretty sure I already said mine already.
yeah, you did.
So.
But if you want to reiterate to some of the viewers who actually probably joined us, wanted to kind of reiterate.
It definitely expanded my horizons in music. Definitely.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I was introduced to so much good music that I did not know existed.
Okay, good. And Johnny, Johnny, you want to add to that?
I just want to say, like, the game itself is like I said before, the freedom to like go from each part of the cities was amazing, and plus the music right there was just like phenomenal, and the characters in the game was so very unique and diverse, and to this day, I have not seen a game that does like diversity characters and the way they represent them. Perfect. I have not seen a game that does it perfect like Jet Set Radio has done.
Wow.
Yeah, it was portrayed like in realistic light and not beaten over the head.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's why I didn't even notice it. Usually I cringe when I hear about that. Then I was like,
yeah, of course. Yeah. People are tired of it though. That's the problem.
I'm tired of it from both ends, man. Because like you put in a diverse cast, and you got the other side bitching too. So it's very annoying.
Exactly. All you have to do is just make a good game with a good story. And
yes.
If the characters are likable, you make these characters likable, people will like these characters. Don't take these characters that, I like this character, I put this character because it fits my agenda. Here, take it. I'm gonna shove it down your throat. No, people don't want that.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
And plus, the music for the game was phenomenal.
Yeah, Dorian actually just mentioned that he said he started wearing big headphones with my Sony Walkman when skating because of this game. Yeah. This is believe it or not, the soundtrack is so good to skate with. It really does kind of we get into the vibe, and so when you're skating with this game, it's crazy.
You guys can skate?
Huh? What? Yeah. Well, I tried to skate.
No, my brother can.
I can't. No way.
I tried to skate. I can't do it.
My little brother can skate. I'll tell you that.
I couldn't even do roller skating. The roller skating rinks. I actually literally would go there. Like I think they had roller skating Saturdays or something like that nearby where I used to live. We used to live in Greenberg. And and I was rolling around, did my skating around the rink. And trust me, I'm sitting there, I'm watching these people actually roller skating like they were like walking on rails. And I'm like, okay, how the hell do you do that? And they're like, oh, all you gotta do is put one foot in front of the other and thing and push off. I'm like, push off what? These wheels are actually going backwards and forwards. There's nothing.
I can roller skate, right? I just don't know how to stop without hitting something.
I'm with you. I am with you. It's almost as bad as ice skates. It's just as bad. Only.
I'm the same with ice skates too, man.
Oh, really? And ice skates too? Wow. Yeah.
I can.
Oh, bro, I try ice skating. Let me tell you guys a story that makes me not want to ice skate ever again. I remember I went ice skating. That and when I slipped, the end of the ice blades, I slipped and then I cut my leg.
Oh, yeah. I get. Oh, damn. I feel for you, man. I feel for you. Oh, goodness gracious.
And then since then, I do not want to ice skate ever again. Ever since then.
My gosh. Yeah. But I would have to say.
I mean, I do wish I could rollerblade like my brother has done before, but
Yeah,
It is what it is.
Yeah, but you know what
it's
it
not
is. If you know, you know. If you're naturally born with the talent, great. I mean, yeah, granted, like learning how to do it, it's just good to always get taught by someone who actually had more experience than you. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry, with roller skating, it's just that ain't my thing.
Yeah,
And
well,
and
not for
people
me. I
and
can't
people,
do it. I'd
yeah,
love to, but can't.
and people were
Yeah.
saying that roller blades are actually easier. I was like, what?
No.
No, no,
But
no. It's almost as bad as skateboarding. I can't skateboard I
yeah.
can't for nothing.
I,
Try.
let me tell you something. I give a lot of respect to those guys because I remember when they did the Jet Set Radio 20th anniversary event. Excuse me. They had all these guys doing these rollerblades and they were grinding on the rails and all over the place. Listen, I give a lot of respect to those guys who can do that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just not for me though. I enjoy watching it. Just I wouldn't try it.
Yeah.
I don't want to bust my ass.
Yeah. All right, so we're almost hitting that 2 hour mark in that thing. So we're going to kind of do.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
Great.
Listen. We covered a lot. We covered a lot in Jet Set. About Jet Set Radio. We had a lot of memories, and there's a lot of things in there. I mean, we could do a quick round robin, I think, of certain questions, and you can try to get some more questions out of there because I have about 2 more questions that you probably may or may not, want to answer. If you have something that might kind of hit you hard, let me know. Let's see. Says Jet Set Radio themes feel more relevant today. Surveillance, youth protests, and self-expression. What would its graffiti revolution look like in 2025?
I think there might be some Molotovs involved.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine that? Not just smoke bombs, but then again, they're already using smoke bombs, and also and also these pellets. Yeah, but these and those.
When you're saying comparing it to today, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah.
Molotovs and and also those rubber bullets. Those rubber bullets actually do hurt, and because I mean, if you ever get hit by one of those bad boys, they don't leave hugs and kisses. I mean, let's just tell you that. Yeah, no. It's a pain that you will never forget. But yeah, but what would graffiti revolution look like? I mean, to be honest with you, I mean,
Molotovs and graffiti.
graffiti actually.
Graffiti, like yeah.
But you know what? There's still artists out there that are still leaving their signatures. They're still doing graffiti nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
I'm not surprised.
I was actually on the train the other day, and I actually happened to pass by a building that was kind of just standing there, and I saw this huge this graffiti display, and I'm like, wow, it's still going strong, and but a lot of things got painted over, but they must have had some new blood, putting up their masterpieces also. So they're just keeping the tradition going, and I can't, and I'm all for it. I actually love the freedom of expression when it comes to that. I mean, granted, it's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. Trust me, but hey, I have to give them props because they it's art. It's all it is. It's art. You're not harming anybody. You're not hurting anyone. All you're doing is you're just putting out your art. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. You're not really like making stupid whatever it is. You're actually putting art out there. But then again, I can't really say it's a good thing to do. I don't condone it. I'm sorry, just like in the beginning of Jet Set Radio and Jet Grind Radio and all that stuff, it says art is art, right? But graffiti and stuff like that is against the law, right? So that's what it says. It's against the law.
Unless someone pays you in commissions, you just spray paint the wall.
Yes. So
Exactly.
if you could do it if you could do it legally,
don't go be facing other people.
if you could do it legally, take a picture of it and everything, send it to me. I'll post it on my site, on our site. But yeah, okay. Well, that's it. That's it for this awesome stream. Oh my gosh! I mean, it was an amazing Oh, yeah, Dorian Lindsay said Main Street, baby. Yes. He was like,
Main Street.
he said,
Yeah.
I was excellent on skateboard. I'll go down any hill in Terrytown. If you know, you know. Oh, I know.
Nice.
Oh, we know, all right.
Nice.
Dorian, let's just,
No.
okay, okay, fun fact. When Dorian is actually known as the ninja of Terrytown. Okay, him and his brother, twin brother Mark, amazing guys. If you meet them, you trust me, they have energy,
Yeah.
they have a flow. I mean, trust me, you can vibe with them. They're amazing. Good friends and everything. I'm glad I met them. I would say that
Yeah.
the stuff that I've seen Dorian do will just completely blow your mind. And I'm sitting right there. I'm saying, okay, is this possible? And I'm saying, but then again, he actually will take things to to another limit, and it's just like, okay, what did I just see?
Oh,
You know?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God! Trust me, if you didn't have a camera, you'll never believe it. But trust me, that's but that's a story for another time. But yeah, but anyway, but that's enough for that's the end of our stream. I mean, so my gosh, 25 years of Jet Set Radio. Can you believe it? It was actually available in Japan, but I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the next 25, and I'm hoping within that 25 years we will actually see the next Jet Set Radio and actually get new fans to be able to join in and actually join us for the 50th anniversary of Jet Set Radio. If I even get there, live that long. But hey,
Never know.
you never know.
We might do it dirtier. Who knows? But
Yeah,
like I
exactly.
said, I mean, what I was saying, when I saw it was because we do Sunday shows and it was on the 29th, I said, wait a minute, we have to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Jet Set Radio. There was no way. I did not want to miss this opportunity.
Oh, not at all, not at
Like
all.
I said,
And
this game holds a big part of us.
yeah,
You know,
it
this holds a big part of our heart.
yeah, it revolutionized the gaming industry like no other. Sega and the people at SmileBit, they actually pulled out a miracle, and trust me, it really resonated a lot with a lot of players out there. And I'm gonna say kudos to Sega for allowing this project to actually happen. SmileBit for actually putting in the efforts for that. Nakinami-san for actually being able to do the amazing soundtrack as well. And of course all the fans for actually keeping it alive, and of course the musicians who actually lent their music to the soundtrack as well. Man, let me tell you, this package was all there, and I cannot wait for the I can't call it a sequel, but the reimagining. And
Next game, yeah.
yes, exactly. And trust me, tune in here when the game actually gets their first pictures or first videos or whatever it is. Tune in here because you will definitely see it on our channel, and we are going to talk all about it in live and in living color.
Oh yeah, we will.
Absolutely. So basically for all of us, to all of you Jet Set Radio fans out there, Jet Set Radio! Remember, the future is what you make it. And trust me, it's all about expression and everything. Be yourself. Always be yourself. You guys want to throw in some last words?
Just to piggyback on the be yourself, be the best you. Don't be a copy of someone else.
Excellent.
Live. I want you to live.
All
I
right.
want you to live and succeed and enjoy life.
All right.
That's what we want
Exactly.
for everybody.
Johnny?
Listen, I tell people, I just want to say the important thing is about life. Listen, everyone has to work. Everybody's going to be busy, but make sure you have some time to enjoy yourselves and have fun. That's all it is to it.
Indeed.
And also, I want to thank everybody who tuned in today to celebrate the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest games of all time. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next game.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. So, from all of us at Gaming Treble, we want to wish you a good night. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you this coming Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, if you actually are going to decide to go and see the fireworks and miss us, I hope not. I would like you to still tune in. But we are looking forward to you anyway. And of course, happy 4th of July. Enjoy your burgers, enjoy your hot dogs, and all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next episode of Gaming Treble. Good night, everyone.
take care, players.